Hey guys, what's up? So I decided to do a video about my Ancestry DNA results. Yes, I've had them for about 2 years, but I have been posting videos about helping other people, mostly adoptees, to find their families, and I've been successful in helping them, although I haven't figured out my side of the family yet. I already know my mom's side, found them in my early 20s. That was the interesting story of how I found them, but I did the ancestry test to find my dad. Now, my birth uncle on my mom's side sent me a picture of my dad, of who my mom told him was my dad. I do have my original birth certificate that has my dad's name on it, but after getting my DNA results on Ancestry, on 23andMe, FTDNA, uploading to GEDmatch, MyHeritage.com, nobody has the surname Corbin in any of my matches on my dad's side. So I've come to the realization that either A, my dad was adopted, and Corbin is his adopted last name because I'm adopted, and my adopted last name is my adopted parents' last name. So when you're adopted, yes, your name changes. So I'm thinking maybe that's what that is. And maybe that's why I can't find his surname, because all his biological family last name is not Corbin. My second guess is that maybe this man is not my father after all, because there are times, you think you know who the father is of your child, you want to know who the father is of your child, but unfortunately that's not the father of your child. Now, I'm not saying my mom didn't know who the father of her child was, but I will say that at that time when my mom had me, she was doing drugs, unfortunately. She passed away when I was 3, and not saying that she got around, but at the end of the day, if you're a drug addict, especially back in those days, you probably just did what you had to do to get your drug money. And so I'm not saying my mom slept around to do that, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe she was high, and I don't know. I don't like thinking these things, but I mean, it is what it is, in my 30s, so whatever, it's life. I don't hate her for it. I still love my mom, even though I don't remember her, and I'm just hoping that I'll get to find her one day. So the fact that I've been doing all these videos for other people and helping them, people have been asking me, well, what's your ethnicity? What's your DNA? How's your search going? So I thought, hey, why not just make a video of what I am and how my search is going, and then I guess start recording my search progress for myself. So that being said, okay, rewind. So when I'm adopted, and I was adopted by 2 Irish people. Yes, 2 Irish people. I had a bunch of brothers and sisters, 10 to be exact. We're all different races, colors, shades. Like, it was like the United Nations. So basically we had black, white, Irish, French Canadian, Vietnamese, Chinese, Portuguese, Korean, like Puerto Rican. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but like literally that's what our household was. So of course, growing up, I'm asking, hey, what am I? Because I don't know. By the time I'm adopted, I'm 4 or 5 years old. Right now, my shade of my color, my skin is a little bit darker than I normally am because I'm in California and so it's always sunny here. But in New Jersey, where I grew up, I am much lighter. So that being said, I knew I was mixed with something, didn't know what it was, but when you're that young, you don't really know anything. So of course, when I'd ask my parents, hey, what am I? They would say, you're Irish. So I would go to school and tell people, hey, yeah, I'm Irish. And they would say, yeah, but you're mixed with something else. And I'm like, I have no idea. As time went by, unfortunately, my adopted home didn't work out. And so I was placed in a group home in my 15, 16 years old. And so I met, a bunch of different girls in the home. They were awesome. They were, of course, of all different ethnicities too, black, white, whatever. So when I moved there, they would ask me the same thing. Hey, so what are you? What are you? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm Irish and I don't know. I don't know. And so people used to think that I was Puerto Rican. When my hair was curly, they'd say, oh, you look Dominican. When my hair was straight, they're like, you look Puerto Rican. And so growing up in New Jersey, there's lots of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. So I just started telling people, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm Dominican. Like I literally had a shirt that said, I'm Dominican. I'm not Dominican. But at the time, didn't know what it was. I just went with it. I'd meet people on the streets. They'd be like, oh, start speaking Spanish to me. I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. And of course, they'd be like, are you sure you're not Spanish? Are you sure? Like, no, I think you are. And so I'm like, okay, fine, I'm Spanish. Like, that's what it is. I'm Spanish. I don't know. So I just went with it. In my adult life, as I, found my mom's side of the family, they told me my dad was black. So it was clear I was black and white. My mom's side is very Irish English. And so I just assumed my other side was black. So I'm half black, half white. That's what it is. Then I did Ancestry. Ancestry breaks down exactly what you are and breaks down the percentages of everything you are. So I thought, hey, why not share that with you guys since you guys keep asking? And it turns out that I'm actually more white than I am black, but by a very small percent. I thought that was pretty funny. So I'm just going to read this off to you guys. And so it says that I'm 46% African, and then from Africa, it breaks down that 46% of exactly what it is. And so from Africa, it says I'm 20% Nigeria, 9% Cameroon Congo, 7% Ivory Coast Ghana, and then the low confidence region is 6% Mali, 2% African Southeastern Bantu. It says a little less than 1% Senegal, a little less than 1% African South Central. Then it says I'm 2% Asian, which is funny because I always thought I had Asian in me. I know that sounds a little weird, but I know when I smile, my eyes get very small. I don't know. I don't mean to, like, I don't know. That doesn't mean that I'm Asian because my eyes get small, but I just assumed that when I was younger. Whatever. So it turns out I am 2% Asian, so that's pretty cool. I don't know what side that's from, but I'm assuming it's from my dad's side because after I did my DNA, I had my aunt do her DNA, and she was 100% European, so clearly there was no Asian in that side of the family. So it says I'm 1% Asia Central and 1% Asia South. I don't know exactly what that is. With Ancestry, you can click on certain things and do some more research and like learn more about it. And then it says I'm 51% European. And then that breaks down to, like my shirt says, I'm 37% Irish, which I already knew my mom was Irish. 8% Great Britain. And then my low confidence region in Europe says 2% Scandinavia, which is kind of, I'm not really sure what Scandinavia is. Some people say it's German. And I do know that German ancestors do run my mom's side of the family. But then some people say, no, it's Scandinavia, which I don't know what that is. I'm not really good at geography, but it is what it is. And then it says I'm Finland, Northwest Russia, 2%, 1% East Europe West, and then 1% Iberian Peninsula. So I guess technically there is a little bit of Hispanic in me, because that's what Iberian Peninsula is, but that's, again, probably from my father's side. And then it says America, that I'm Native American 1% on Ancestry. I also tested with 23andMe. I don't have that breakdown with me right now. I can post it in this video as I'm speaking. But the breakdown with 23andMe was a little bit different. And so it didn't say I was Scandinavian. It did say I was German, and it had a little bit more percent of that. It said that I was I believe 1.5 or 2% Native American. So certain things are a little bit different, a little bit more specific. Each one is again, all the testing sites are different. I don't know how they get their algorithms and giving you the exact percent, but what I will say across the whole board has been very accurate is that I am more European than I am black. So that I do know. So maybe at the end of this video, I'll post up all I think 4 of my tests at the very end, the picture, so you can see the difference in them, because it is a little different and it's weird. But it is what it is. So that's what my ethnicity breakdown is. I don't know if, I'll get more matches to hopefully find my dad. The whole thing with Ancestry is, yes, you can do as much research as you want. You can look at your matches' DNA, trees, but if no one's testing on that side of the family, then it's almost nearly impossible to find out who your parent is or that side of the family you're looking for. I will say that this is a picture that is supposed to be of my dad, and he's holding me. And again, I don't know if this is my dad or not. I do know his name is Lamont Corbin. I did find this man. He unfortunately passed in 2011 at Harlem Hospital in New York. Unfortunately, nobody ever claimed him. He's buried at Rikers Cemetery in, I believe, the Bronx, which is basically a cemetery for people that are Jane or John Does that aren't claimed, or they can't afford to bury their family members, but apparently nobody claimed him, and I thought that was really weird. I'm like, how do you not have any family to claim you? And so that again also fed into me believing maybe he was adopted, maybe he didn't have any family, or I don't know. So I did get his social security number. I went and got his, well, not the security number, but his social security application, and a social worker filled it out, and he was about 20 years old when this was filled out. And so I thought that was kind of weird. But then I thought about it and I said, you know what? I was in the system. I was adopted. I was in the group home. I was in the foster system. And my social worker filled everything out for me until I aged out. And yes, technically when you're 18, you age out, but sometimes they will let you stay longer until you're on your feet if you're a good kid and, you're doing what you're supposed to do. I think now they've extended it to 21, I believe. But back when I was there, 18, it's pack your bags. Here's some garbage bags. Get out and have a nice life. So I'm thinking if he had a social worker, he was probably in the system, which makes me believe he was adopted or in the foster care system. And also, I noticed that the address they put down where he was living was at a mental hospital that is not there no more in Philadelphia. I think it was called Byberry Mental Hospital. And so I was like, why was he in a mental hospital? But I also know back in that day, they always stuck people in mental hospitals, and especially if you're in the system, they try to put you on medication and say that you're depressed or you have, you're bipolar, you're suicidal, whatever. Like, they try to say you're something, put you on medication, and you're just another person in the system that they're trying to drug up. The one thing I will say is I'm very grateful to my adopted parents, because even though I was removed from that home for not so great reasons that had nothing to do with my behavior, I will say I appreciate that they made sure that I was not put on any medication and that I was taken care of in that sense. So I'm really grateful for that. Because some kids don't have those type of people advocating for them, and then they're just stuck on medication when really all they need is probably therapy or just somebody to love them and actually speak to these children. So yeah, so that's my story, and I'm just still looking. Of course, I would totally update you when I find anything out about my dad's side. And I am a little hopeful because I do have a third cousin match that doesn't match my aunt's or my, I can't say my uncle yet because his DNA is still coming in on my mom's side, but I'm 99% sure he's not going to match my uncle. And so I believe he is on my father's side. And then I do have another third to fourth cousin match that also matches this match, which I think is on my dad's side too, but unfortunately she's also adopted, and so I'm going to be helping her with her journey and finding her family, and hopefully I'll figure out my case and hers at the same time. So I'm really excited. That's my results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I encourage you to go test with Ancestry, because maybe you're related to me and you can help me with my search, or maybe you're looking for your family, or maybe you just want to know what you are and you want to know specifically, because my husband swore that he had like all this Native American in him. His mom told him that she had part Native American. His dad told him he had part Native American in him. And it turns out that he has no Native American in him. So he was really confused about that and confronted his parents, and his parents were like, what? I had no idea. That's what we were told. So I'm sure there's lots of people out there that are told, oh, we're this or we're that. And then you find out, no, you're not. So it's a fun thing to do. It's a fun family thing to do. They're fun Christmas presents, to buy your family, DNA kits. I don't work for Ancestry. They're not endorsing me. I'm just obsessed with it because obviously I'm trying to find my family and help others in the process. So yeah, so that's it. And I hopefully will have an update for you guys really soon of my search for my dad's side of the family. So thanks for watching.